Hello and welcome for the Agile Hive for Jira Cloud review for the month of April. Quick reminder: this review is being recorded. So in case you want to share something, ask a question or anything, please be mindful about what you share, because we will upload this video afterwards on YouTube and will be publicly findable. So again, be mindful of what you share. And also a quick reminder, the next review will take place on the 5th of May. This is in about 5 weeks' time, and starting like this one at 15:30 Central European Time. In case you haven't done that already, but I suspect that most of you who are already here have, you can find the ICS file to put the review to upload the review into your calendar at the first link here. The second link is our LinkedIn account, where we will share regular updates to Agile Hive, and as well as to our YouTube channel. Like the monthly reviews that you can find there and rewatch and share them with your colleagues. And also, if you want to stay up to date about SAFe and Agile Hive in general, make sure to visit our blog. In case you are currently evaluating Agile Hive for Cloud, we know that 30 days might be a little bit short for the evaluation process. So in case you need more time to evaluate our app, feel free to reach out and we can extend the trial license for you so that you can have a little bit more time for testing. I think it's possible up to 90 days. So coming up to the product updates. There has only been one new release since the last review. For those of you who participated in the last reviews, the second bullet point actually said we aim to release one new release each week. But currently we are working on quite bigger topics that block this ambitious release goal a little bit. So be a bit patient. I hope that we will return to the old schedule of one release per week in the future again. So what has been released? Most importantly, and I think that you can see, we released the external dependencies on the team breakout board. I teased this already in the last review with, I think, possibly the exact same screenshot here. It is now possible to display dependencies to teams and issues that are outside of the art that you are currently in or currently viewing. So, like with the teams that partake in the art, teams that have dependencies to issues in this art will be displayed in their own swim lane that you can expand and collapse and see the dependencies to issues within the art. Only issues from this team that actually have a dependency are shown here. And only issues that fall within the time span of the PI that we are currently watching are displayed here. This is, in case of this issue here, for example, a due date that you can set on the issue. And if the due date falls in the time span of one of the iterations of the PI, like here, January 1st to January 31st, the issue is displayed in that under that iteration column. But you can also use sprints of the other teams to group them into an iteration. For example, this issue here, it's planned in a sprint that overlaps with the second iteration here, and then we will take the end date of the sprint to see in which iteration it should be displayed on our team breakout board here. So, for example, this would fall into the second iteration. This does not only work for due dates and sprints, but in case it is a feature from a different art, for example, then also the date for the roadmap and also the estimated completion date for this issue can be used to group it into an iteration. The second topic that we worked on is actually an improvement. As you might remember, in the past, we had issues with rate limitations from Atlassian's API, and we still currently occasionally see rate limits occur, and especially when accessing large hierarchies with, this is just an example picture, with 50 or more spaces or projects involved, then the accessing the projects or hierarchies API could run into rate limit errors. And so we optimized the loading for these larger, or for the hierarchy in general, by using pagination, just like Atlassian does when accessing the spaces or projects of the instance. Oh, sorry. Yeah, like with the last review, the data center review, we also worked on the migration from Jira Data Center to Jira Cloud. And we worked on making the migration process more reliable. For example, we had an issue with the Jira Cloud Migration Assistant, this JCMA here. This app from Atlassian did not pick up the app, the Agile Hive app in the Agile Hive bundle on the data center instance. So we had to explicitly state the server app key that's being used so that it can sync correctly to the app on the cloud instance. And on one instance, this did not work very reliably, and the customer ran into issues there, and we fixed that issue as well. And this led to another positive outcome. If you tried the migration process already, you might remember that you were required to set a dark feature on the data center instance, enabling the dev mode for the migration. So you can see here the dark feature flag that you had to enable previously so that the JCMA, the Cloud Migration Assistant, can actually pick up our app within the bundle. This is not needed anymore after that. You can disregard this, or you can disable this dark feature flag in your data center instance entirely. And yeah, we also took it out of our documentation already. So if you're going to do migrations in the future, yeah, you will have never heard of that. All right. Yeah, and then we come to the last point in this review for today. There was a bug with an art that was not connected to a solution train. The art report wouldn't load correctly when the art was not connected to a solution train. A curious bug, didn't occur under all circumstances, but the process had trouble loading the iterations for the PI when the PI was not connected to a PI from the solution level. But this bug was also fixed in the last version. This seems like not a lot of issues have been worked on in the past 5 weeks, but that's actually not true. It's what I said in the beginning, that we have kind of big topics right now that are kind of blocking more frequent release cycle, and one of these is the reports for the solution trains. This is currently in the release testing process. So if that release would have made it through to now, this list would be a little bit more excessive, but I do not want to show you other sneak peek screenshots from the solution train reports, because I've shown them in the last reviews more often already. So yeah, just know that they're in the testing process and will be released quite shortly. And then we'll mention them again in the next review, of course. Yeah, so this was our roadmap for our current PI, or our plan for our current PI. We are still working on updating our roadmap view so that it's capable of showing you more or a greater time span than just 2 PIs into the future. It's now possible to scroll even further in the future and load the issues reliably. So that's very good. It's also in the testing process, but not in the release testing process. This will be the release afterwards, after that then. External dependencies, you've just seen the external dependencies on the team breakout board, but it's already also implemented for the reports and for the art planning board. They are also in the release testing process for the upcoming release. Yeah, because these topics, the external dependencies and the solution train reports, were heavily connected to each other. So that made the testing process a bit tricky. So yeah, we did not made it in time to finish the reports for the solution train in the month of March. As I said, it will be more likely the middle of April when the release testing is done. Oh, sorry. Yeah. And what we did not start was the custom field mapping for our custom fields. This will probably be pushed to the next PI. Yeah, then let me remind you again that the next review will take place on the 5th of May. Up until then, feel free to visit these links here for more review videos or updates, or in case you want to share this review with colleagues of yours, you can point them to this link and they can import the ICS for the review into their calendar. Up until then, I will say goodbye and hope to see you again next month.